I think agentic working has had its ChatGPT moment. Hi, it's Phil. Not done a video for absolute yonks. People who follow me will know probably that I did a video with OpenAI a little while ago, and I'll stick a link here somewhere if you've not seen that already. But to be honest, nothing sort of compelled me so much that I've had to sort of jump on and record something until this week. So I've been really blown away by Claude Dispatch. Dispatch is a really tiny update to Anthropic's suite of AI tools, but I think it makes a big difference. Essentially, if you've not been following it, Anthropic have got a couple of tools that have been out a little while called Claude Code and Claude Cowork. Claude Code does what it sounds like it would do. It's a tool that can code for you, but it'll do it agentically, which means it does things autonomously under your command. You install it on your computer, you give it a brief, and it goes off and does stuff for you. Claude Cowork is the same idea, but not for coding, but really for like the stuff we do on a daily basis on our computers. I think sort of, where it plays into at the minute is sort of admin stuff. So I think these are really cool. The genius bit I think that's happened is that this tool called Dispatch is basically just, as Anthropic described it, a walkie-talkie. So you can sort of be on your device and call back to your computer where Claude Cowork and Claude Code are installed and give it orders. It's like being a remote manager barking tasks at your staff. Not that I would ever do it like that. Some people do. Hate working with people like that. Anyway, there's a whole nother rabbit hole. So you've got this really interesting stuff, but when I've been sat in front of these tools previously, I'm quite often doing that kind of thing where you're stuck in front of a computer with a blank screen and you don't know what to ask it to do. And that's the sort of problem I've kind of had with Claude Cowork and Claude Code previously. But one thing that's been on my mind in the last sort of fortnight is all about I need to build a client relationship management system. I need to get one. I need to subscribe. I need to sort of automate sending mail outs and follow-ups and all the kind of things that a sensible business does. That as a single operator, I don't have time. And my biggest blocker in getting a CRM ready is the data for me is all over the place. Like I've got spreadsheets with client names of things that I'm working on. I've got my invoices spreadsheet, which has got some more information. I've got lists on my website of people that have signed up for updates. I've got people that come to workshops and give me their details, and that's all of these things are in different places, and none of them are like in a consistent format. So it's a pain in the ass. So really, my big blocker on getting a CRM is not getting a CRM because it's 20 quid a month subscription or whatever it would be, but it's actually getting the data in a good place that I can bring it in. So when Dispatch came out the other week, this thing's on my mind. I'm like, well, I wonder if you could tell it all these various places where this data sits at the minute. Because most of it, to be honest, is in the email. Like most of the good stuff, people's email addresses and the things we're talking about, that's where it is. So I'm like, well, I like giving these things a go, really. So I went into Dispatch. I told it what I was trying to achieve, like a good prompt, but I told it where all these various bits of information exists on my computer here. And let it sort of go off and see what it could do, half expecting it to do a crap job. And probably within about 40 minutes and a little bit of back and forth, it consolidated everything into one single spreadsheet. At the point, I got just like a CSV file, a basic Excel sort of spreadsheet. That to me was an amazing win, right? Like getting all of that information. So I started to think, okay, well, I need to then get a CRM and migrate this information in. And I'm like, well, if I've got Claude Code on in the app and Dispatch has already sort of worked with Claude Cowork to figure out all this data problem, could Dispatch, with all of this context, it knows what it's been doing, could it basically spec itself a CRM that then it handed off to Claude Code to build? Within 2 hours, I've got a working CRM. I'm going to show some screens of this on in the video, so you're not just looking at me. Within 2 hours, I've got a working CRM. We did a bit of iteration back and forth, like you would with a colleague. And then I decided, because it was running locally, I'm like, well, really, I want this to run online so I can access it anywhere. So again, went back into Dispatch, back and forth, gave it some requirements. It briefed me on what to do, and we worked together. And again, probably a couple more hours after that, the whole thing's hosted online securely, and we've set up the various services to make that happen. So it's blown me away. Then, I mean, there's other things. Once I've got this CRM system working as I did within, a day or so of starting out, I'm like, well, it'd be useful if I could do a proposal management system. So when someone asks me to give them a proposal, rather than me doing it offline here and sending them a Word document or what have you, we could do it through this online system, and it's gated at the client side so they can log in, see the proposal, and I get the notification that they've logged in, registered back in the CRM, which it built using the template that it gave it. That was a bit painful. We got there in the end. It was the formatting that he struggled with, but we nailed it in the end. And then I'm like, well, I could do with like a client area. So when I do a workshop, I often send out copies of like the deck, resources that go with it, and other bits and bobs. Now I just spec that on again on Dispatch to say, this is what I want to achieve, go and make it happen. And all of that stuff that I've just described there is integrated into this CRM. And the last bit that's fried my brain with this is that I can, because I'm my own operator, I still have my various spreadsheets, and I log things over here, and I've got this over there. And what we've done, if you can imagine all of that stuff that we've built a proper front end with some database and all that kind of stuff. But powering that in the background, I've gone back to those initial trawls that Cowork did and said, look, repeat that on a nightly and weekly basis. So if I sort of drop the ball and put some data somewhere else, a new client, I stick it in my old sheet, it'll just bring that back up. So it'll trawl all of these kind of key resources that I've pointed it to, and it'll pull that into the CRM. So we've got a CRM built by an agent, but we've got the agent scraping the work to ensure that everything is updated and gets pushed into CRM. It's just amazing. I'm like 5 days into working like this. I barely slept. And everyone that I've explained this to and shown people what it's been building for me have just had their brains melted. So I think, that's kind of it. I've not got a snappy ending for this, but obviously if you want to know more, drop me a message. I'm always free to chat. And obviously I do training as well. So there's a quick plug. But that's it for now. I'm going to try and get some sleep tonight, but I don't know if I will, to be honest.